Meditation on life and death through the eyes of a child. Meditation as received. If I had ever been asked what I would give for my child, I would have answered all I have to give. If ever I thought that what I had to learn of life I would sacrifice greatly for, I would have asked for another way. There was no other way. My life, my greatest lesson, my greatest teacher came through the eyes of an angel. How can the journey of life be explained? How did I, within 40 weeks, create life? How did I build such precious piece and put it together so perfectly without doing anything? Right from the beginning of life, we grow with faith, love, and our purpose guiding the way. It was a wonderful journey. Every step, every day, locked into my memory. That first feeling of movement, butterflies, life. The first scan revealed the proof of life we longed for, counting fingers and toes, seeing the heartbeat, the vital organs all intact. Relief. Faith was my prayer that the remaining weeks after the scan saw our child born healthy. We know she's doing well so far. Imogen Grace was to be her name. My body settled into being pregnant. The hormones calmed down and I felt somewhat normal. I spoke, touched and loved Imogen. I began to get to know her. She loved water, be it shower or bath. Music, she responded, moved, felt with the music. But to touch and talk to her, to kiss her, I just knew that she felt loved. So uncertain am I of my role, yet set to make decisions of a lifetime for another. From such unreliable ground, I expect to build a tower of strength, one who is solid in believing right from wrong, one with morals to suit their beliefs. Ultimately, it is about time. The time I give, we devote, others share to our girl. Time for her to become all she can be. At 39 weeks and 4 days, my contractions started. It is nature, the miracle of life, working as one to allow this joy of life to take a breath. This is life's longing. This is life controlling life, life controlling its existence. A rush of relief marks her arrival. She's beautiful. My heart will never know anything but love now. I'm unbelievably exhausted and filled with joy. How can seconds last for hours? It was time moving in slow motion. Every moment I was transfixed on Imogen. As the midwife held her in her arms, as her father cut the cord and gave her to life, she was given to me, to life. It was as if I had never known love before. Dear God, dear life itself, I cannot thank you enough for wanting Imogen so badly that you have given her to life and to me. I love her. We looked at her endlessly. Even her cry sounded sweet. She fed, she slept, I slept. I dreamt of my need for her and she of me. I believed we were her everything. What a source we had been to fulfill her need to exist. I really felt like I was achieving something great in my life. Her father acted as if he was the first man to have ever created a child. Sleep was so peaceful. I hadn't slept so well in months. The discomfort of my stomach had become the comfort beside me. I couldn't wait for our journey to begin. for our lives to begin together. I looked forward to watching her grow. That opportunity was never given. I awoke suddenly to the most piercing scream you can imagine. Already the midwives had come into the room. Imogen, what was wrong? What had I done? A doctor was called. I kept trying to grab her, hold her, or do something. Gone. She's gone. As quick as she was in my arms, she was gone, whisked away. The nurses, doctors, machines. Is this a dream? Am I still asleep? I was just dreaming of her and our happiness. I couldn't help but scream out for her. Imogen! I could feel nothing of my own body, only the tight arms of my husband around me and the hot stinging tears on my cheeks. I remember struggling free and running out of the room. I was panic-stricken at the thought of losing our baby. No answers, just wait. The intensive care unit was where 2 hours later we found our girl. Still no answers. Doctors were bewildered as to what was wrong. They looked at what was right. Full term, good weight, now only tests. They were looking for everything and anything that may have caused Imogen's body to have gone into shock. Her whole body attempted to shut down. Why? Where was the answer? Is there an answer? I looked around and felt I was in a sea of calm before the storms. Such tiny little souls struggling to survive. Such brave mums and dads never leaving their side. I don't think my eyes were dry from the minute we walked in. Despite not knowing anyone, we each just knew what the other was experiencing. It matters not who we each are, how we got here, whether we are man or woman. All that matters in this room is love. Love is the medicine. But to this day, I'm not certain whether we gave it or received it from those little souls. I can tell you officially we've spent 76 hours, 42 minutes and 53 seconds in intensive care. In that time I slept little. I never grew tired. I was amazed that not only would I not leave Imogen's side, but I could not leave the others as well. I became so consumed by everyone. I came to know those all in 3 days. Mostly I came to know love. A great love, given from life, and each individual to every soul I met. This is where I began to truly learn about life. What really matters while we each play our part. How each person we meet impacts our lives. How each of us help teach and help heal. Many of the things I learned in just those few short hours made me realise not only who I am, but who I have become. It didn't take long to understand what was going on around us. This is where life fights for life to exist. Where angels hover so gently around you can almost feel their wings touch your face. You learn of every noise and what it means. You hold the smile of a stranger and wish they weren't here. This experience sees couples, mums and dads, families trying to stay together. Learning it is futile to blame, for there is no fault. Struggling with the cards we have been dealt. Realising there is no right or wrong, there is only what is. Often what is holds no answers. It does not matter to any one of the precious souls as they continue their fight, whether you are a man or a woman, only that you are love. I know this makes a difference. Our words, our touch give life and hope to them. I even spend a minute or two with twins whose parents are so intent on arguing, blaming, bickering, they are asked to leave the room. They seem weak. Born 24 weeks premature, they are barely a speck of life. I can't help but look around and ask why. The room in the ICU is filled with posters, quotes, cards of thanks. There is more than one Holy Cross and regular visits from the chapel are made. I notice many of the parents willing to ask of God for anything but their little one's life, asking for blessings and prayers. I wonder what would be better, their wee one's life or another's. Life does not exist without death. Every death brings another life. Nothing is in vain. My lessons of life began in this room. I've never believed in only one God but many. Perhaps there is one Almighty, but many gods, saints, sages who pave the way for so many to find their enlightenment. I cannot believe that in giving life I am faced with death so soon. It makes you question any God. Why? Why is this happening to our baby? Will she die? Can you fix them? The questions fly across the room in voices filled with fear, fatigue and pain. I don't think I dozed off for long before I heard that first beep, beep, beep. We all react and jump to see if it is our child. The nurses are quick to whisk the twins away. They never returned. I'm certain I saw the most beautiful colours floating out the window, and I knew they were safe. I feel bad for being grateful it is not our Imogen. The guilt is overwhelming as I hold back tears of joy for our girl and tears of sadness for the twins. I fear my reaction to anything bad happening. As the twins' mother drops to the floor in shock, their father can't control his rage. He unravels a mouthful of abuse to everybody, yet nobody. As I watch the father turn to see his wife curled up on the floor, I see the wall around him fade. He drops to her, and they can only cry. Lessons of life once again. Nothing is in vain. I look around the room to find all eyes fixed on them. We all fear what they are experiencing. We fear the end of this beginning. It is hard not to lose sight of the other side, that whilst we all sit holding on to a tiny thread of life, thousands of other babies are being born every day, fit, healthy, happy, destined for a long life. It is not everyone who endures this suffering. Life is not cruel. Life needs life to continue to exist. It needs many of its newest creations to survive in order for life to survive. I understand that every ending is another beginning, that every life that is taken is survived by me, my family, you, your family. Some 4 hours after Imogen's first attack, she's alive, well and full of life. Her eyes look deeply at everything. She was really taking everything in. She's doing so well, and I cannot describe the rush of relief that sweeps over me as we touch. I don't want this moment to end. I feel my grip tighten as I look around the room. No one is going to take her from me. I cry. I cry because I fear losing this. Never have I known such a bond of love. This is unconditional. It must be. I don't know this little person, yet I do. Our souls know each other. Where have we met before? We often hear people say they look like they've been here before. You can't understand until you've looked into their eyes. When Imogen looks at you, you see life. Already they have a sparkle, a dance, a smile. She has so much life. She has been here before. It's as if she knows what life is about, and already she smiles waiting. I look around the ICU and see heartache, love and joy all bundled together. Why? What is the purpose of this? It makes me wonder what we are all to gain from this. If we each learn from every experience, what can I learn from this encounter? More time passes and Imogen doesn't sleep. She lay awake staring at me. If only I could be inside her mind. She talks to me with her eyes. I wonder if she's scared. I wonder if she looks at me begging me to protect her. She's so calm. The tests show nothing. Doctors put it down to the birth. The speed of it may be. Her body went into shock. She's doing well now. So are many of the other little ones. Despite losing the twins, another family has walked free. Their little boy, after 4 months in ICU as a premature bub, has gone home. Tears of happiness and goodbyes from everyone. Thank you is not enough to express all those who work within these fragile walls. Life again teaching us, both families gone. One feeling they have lost everything, the other believing in miracles. The reality is life. Every life born risks dying. We all die. Without consciously knowing when or how, we do know that end. We question the purpose. There is a purpose to each be taught or to teach within this life. Every circumstance provides the opportunity to teach or be taught. For life to continue, one must come, another go. For every life taken that is not ours is a lesson to continue. For every life given is a lesson to learn. In between life itself, embrace this moment. Now is all I hear. My eyes locked on Imogen's as if I felt her body change. She was now a dead weight. Her body was just a body. I could no longer see the sparkle in her eyes. No, I screamed out loud. No! The nurses dashed to our side, and within seconds Imogen was out of my arms, back in theirs. I pushed to get closer, but was moved backwards by the force of the doctor rushing past. Within seconds, gone. I turned to look at all, their eyes focused on me. I know what they are thinking. Thank goodness it's not my child. I understand their sympathy that is overtaken by the relief and the joy that it's not their baby. Like me, they hold their child tighter, vowing nothing will take them away. You are out of control with emotion. You question without answer. You vow that you'll do whatever it takes to save this child. I sob uncontrollably, not out of fear or pain, but out of not knowing, not being able to understand why Imogen is dying. Dying? Did I think that? Is that what this is? Until now I had not given death a thought, for I came to give life. What need is there for Imogen to die? Life. Nothing is in vain. I can look back now and see that I saw everything wrong. The need for anyone to die has also given them the chance to live. When you look at life and see so much of it, you become entangled in the desire to live. You think of nothing else. You believe there is nothing else until you experience death and you understand two very important lessons to value for life. That love is death's only conqueror. That nothing else can ease the time, the distance, the absence, but real love. For real love need not touch nor sight, for it exists in the heart and soul, and the vision, the feeling, the smell and the sound are never lost. And that death is not the end of life. It is change into another form. It is your love of life that allows you to walk out the door and see your loved one in the light, smell them in the salt of the ocean or the aroma of a flower, and to have them touch you with the wind. I wanted more. It had been 2 hours again and no one had news other than to wait. Imogen must be fighting on. I knew she hadn't left me. I couldn't feel the angels in the room. I held my husband so tight. He had spoken little throughout this whole incident. We agreed we both wanted more. More information, more time, more help. We needed to know what on earth was going on here. The drive for more saw both of us become quite agitated and aggressive. Who were they to not tell us? We each were becoming so tense everyone would have picked up on our aggression. Then all of a sudden I wondered, what is more? What is enough? How much do we need to know? How much do we want to know, really? There's no arriving and wanting more. You never get there. The doctors walked back into the room with our girl. She appears more alive than ever, her eyes brighter. She smiled at the sound of my voice. We took her into our arms and cried with relief. How could I want more than this? I think of the good and the bad in this situation. We've had the joy of a 9 months creating life. She moved within me. She came of me. We've held her in our arms and smiled with her. Yet, the pain she endures within her body no one understands. If I ask for all the good without the bad, does that mean that I don't have her at all? If this is life's longing for itself, why does it seek such pain? Again, the lessons roll in. Nothing else matters except her, us, and love. I pass her to her father and he holds her close. Don't ask me what the time is or how long it has been, for in this short time I have lived a lifetime. Isn't this what life is about? Love, happiness, laughter. I have experienced the best of this now. As the doctors approach us to discuss Imogen's health, the only thing I can think of is, I hope Imogen, in this short time, has felt such love, happiness, and laughter. The doctors were seeking as many answers as we were. I'm back to my original question. Is there an answer? Is there a reason? An answer for anything in life? Have we overcomplicated things? Aside from curing and preventing, have we forgotten that the one guarantee in life is death? There it is again, death. Why? So life goes on. The circle continues. Do we need another reason? Maybe, but we don't have another reason. This was the first time I truly thought of the road ahead. I realised its meaning to the world I once knew. The thought of just taking home a child was change enough. Forever now bound to the responsibility of moulding a child's life, I began to feel overwhelmed by all that has happened. It hit me. The birth, the possibility of death. When I looked around at the doctors fussing over what to do next, at the nurses diligently fighting for another's life, my husband, Imogen, I cried. With one smooth swoop, Imogen was in my arms and I clung to her and cried and cried and cried and cried into her until I had nothing left within me. When finally I stopped and looked at her, Imogen's eyes smiled at me. I wasn't at all comforted by her glance. She did not know what I knew, what possibilities lay ahead, what pain we may suffer. Or did she? Did she know what life she had chosen, and still she smiles? What if she not only knows the life she has chosen, but is still young enough to remember the holy ground she has come from and is not afraid of anything life has to offer? What if she has chosen this small encounter for not just her opportunity to feel my love, but to give me, show me true love? I sighed such a deep sigh. It was a small attempt to clear my heart, yet my husband knew what it meant. I just felt such relief that we didn't have to talk or share or even acknowledge anything other than we were there together. I felt that. I know Imogen felt that. We didn't sleep. We remembered every second of that time. I took in every smell, sound and mental picture. I was making a photograph for me to have forever. 24 hours had passed since Imogen's arrival. I was feeling tired, sore, numb, and filled with a cocktail of disbelief and sheer delight. 2 shutdowns in that 24 hours had given everyone enough to think about, as there were still no signs or any clues as to what was wrong. She still had slept little and only went in my arms. Within those 24 hours, I had been on an emotional roller coaster. The joy of giving birth, the pain of seeing great suffering, topped off the sadness of death. It is so hard for each of us to stop and think of others, that another could be in a worse off situation to our own, that even if it looked to be worse, there was no way anyone else could feel worse. It is difficult to walk in another's shoes, hard to imagine a greater tragedy until you are in it, until you not only can see but taste the fear, the pain, the heartache. No one in this room, this life, is better or worse off. No pain, no love, no emotion can be compared to another. Empathy became our greatest feeling. More lessons on life come in. We would have never asked for more. More than this? Impossible. There can be no more than absolute happiness right now. It is at night when others sleep and dream that you really get to see their souls. I dream as I walk the room and watch these lives live, breathe, become. It is so peaceful right now. Have you ever watched someone sleep? Watch them breathe and just be? It is quite magical. My footsteps are so quiet and soft, I feel like I'm dancing a slow waltz. I feel like one of the angels that I know are watching me. It is so surreal, this whole life. Bizarre really that I cling to Imogen in fear of not knowing, yet she fears nothing. Perhaps that is why. Perhaps she can show me there is nothing to fear. That death is only shunned by our ego who wants, believes that we are all to this life and those closest to us. Trust. Another lesson of life. It is life. I have never really given it much thought, but now I not only think of it, I'm consumed by it. I trust not only these people, this room, but life. I trust that life will deliver exactly what it needs for us. Aren't all of our lives just life's longing for itself? How much does it need us? How long will it need to feel us within its existence? Right here, right now, I understand that not one of us really determines the length of our life. Only life, its existence, determines our time. What has it got in store for me? How long will it want my Imogen? It's as if a contract has been drawn between each of us and life, as if we have an agreement. We have a purpose, and life flows. I can look back now and almost feel a warmth come over me. Nothing, absolutely nothing is more important than this. Just being amongst this pure joy. The sadness and pain that clouds illness is such a gift if it is to remind us of love. Here I feel strength, courage, and incredible faith. These souls are just so happy to just be here and now. Here and now is all we have. While time is ticking, do we know time is ticking? I don't believe I've ever stopped to realise that every second lived is a second lost. That every death is another closer to me. I'm not consumed by death and gloom, but here I am extremely conscious of life. Do we really live it? Time is ticking and now I realise its preciousness. These lives that I see here are alive. They know nothing except life, yet they don't know life. I can't describe the love I feel. It is as if with every step another year has passed. This is her life. I sleep, I dream. I want to wake to see if I'm dreaming, but I know I can never let myself wake from this. This is the life we dream of our children having. It is so real. Imogen is real. I touch her and can feel all that she is. She looks at me with such warmth and knowing. She guides me. I realise this isn't just my dream, but hers as well. Imogen guides me past schools and houses. She walks me through years of her life. Is this too much to ask? I don't want to let myself cry, but I can feel the tears inside me. This is all I want, time. Time to get to know my girl. I fall to my knees. I don't know where I am, but I cry. Right then, I just want to have life. I want to know life, know Imogen's life. Is that asking too much? Why can't I know life? I have an answer of being comforted. Imogen's eyes are on me. She's old now, older than me. She drops and puts her arms around me. No tears, no pain, she is just calm. She holds me as if I am the child. It is as if she has no fear, as if she knows life. How can she? Does anyone know? Can we understand? I look into Imogen's eyes and am engulfed by her peacefulness. I accept this. I accept her warmth, her love, her peace graciously. I feel blessed to have dreamt with her and placed invisible memories of all her life may be. A wave of realisation comes over me. Don't try to understand. Acceptance is the key. Acceptance of life is all that can be offered. Not knowledge, because who of us knows? Not understanding, as we cannot understand that which we do not know. Acceptance of life and all that she offers. Trust that life will offer you what you need. Faith in ourselves that we will make the right decisions for our life. Belief that every decision we make, we have done fully aware of what our choices are, accepting the consequences. An invisible cord still connects us. The same invisible cord connects her to me, to here and now, to us all, to life. Om, sweet Om, home is too slow coming. I have come to understand a much calmer me during these days. I'm not certain how, as the tension and anxiety is consuming. Somehow I have come to know my breath and my soul in this calmness. I will miss the calm silence here. It is strange to have this serene setting for what is sheer panic within these walls. Home is everyone's goal, to make it out, to defy the odds, to cheat death. Home. The doctors were pleased to give us the nod to go home. We've made it. These days of heartache have turned into a silver lining. I wouldn't change it for the world. What I have learned these past 72 hours is priceless. I have discovered more of myself. I have discovered more of life. I took the time to say my farewells and pass on my love. It is human to gather some hope from another's fortune. I was glad to give these families something to cling to. I was saddened by the thought of never seeing these people again, that I would not know how their story ends. I prayed it would end with happiness in their hearts. I now find no humour in the saying, someone walked over my grave. For the chill that consumed me as I walked towards the exit was just that. I could not control my shaking. My eyes searched the room for a sign of what was to come. No beeping machines, no tears. I would have ignored my shaking but for my intuition telling me otherwise. The wisp of the curtains were my last telltale signs. I looked at Imogen and smiled. I held her close and kissed her. I whispered my love to her. All is done. When you are finished, says life. No machines, no peeping, just my scream. No! Imogen had gone. After all this time, another shutdown. We had lulled into a sense of security. I thought the worst had been. I believed we were going home. Not today. As Imogen was whisked away again, I found comfort on the floor. I curled myself into a ball and just sobbed. My heart ached. I had my husband's arms around me in the hope of all in the room, but I knew Imogen had gone. A mother's intuition. I couldn't see the angels, but I could feel them. Not only could I feel the brush of their wings, but I could hear them singing. I tell myself to remember this when finally I can be consoled. For now, uncontrollable sobbing is all I can muster. I don't know quite how it can happen technically, but today my heart broke. The pain was so great I clung to my chest as I curled limp on the floor. I could not feel another part of my body. Life had been sucked out of me. A part of me has been taken forever. The grisly reminder of the fine line we walk in life. If it were not for my husband's strength, nothing would have held me together. Yet I know worse is to come. Never before had the doctors returned without our girl. No tears, just shock. They each hold me and shake my husband's hand. For now, no reason, just life. To have held life and to now feel death is cruel beyond words. To be consumed by so much love and now to be overwhelmed by pain is an unbearable part of life. I know I can piece this experience together, but now, right now, all I want to do is let the pain, the heartache, the grief, the love pour from the depths of my soul. Don't console me. Don't touch me with your "it will be okay" eyes. Nothing again will be the same. Life reminded me Imogen was done. All she had to do right here, right now, is done. When all is done, you are finished. For Imogen, life was an opportunity to grow through giving. She had been given the gift of life. She gave the gift of love. She gained in her wisdom. She experienced love. We all grow, not just through people, relationships, love, but through experiencing life. In a short time, through this experience of life, I have become so much more, for now I know death, the only one who walks silently at life's side. Without words, Imogen spoke only the truth from her heart. From her soul, Imogen showed me so much of life. This journey, these few short days have become not only the most deeply painful, but the most I have known love. What began as a journey to give life became an exploration in having life, seeing life, knowing, loving, touching life. I know how to love greater, how to see everything in very little. Once you've asked the questions, once you have the answers, it is time to move on. We never move on without the changes we have made through our experiences. We move on changed. We move on never the same, never to return. We move on with all that we have learnt. I couldn't yet leave my Imogen. I knew once I let go of her, I'd never touch her again. I knew I had her love, small memories that I knew would be with me forever. In all ways, but still I struggled to walk away. Life is too short to not feel, and I wanted to keep feeling her. 3 days ago, I had not experienced so much of life. Many questions asked, many answered, many left unanswered until another time. It is as if Imogen gifted me so many of the answers to so many of my questions. Through Imogen's life, I gained so much. The miracle of life. In giving life, I received so much of life. It took a little time, but I realised I needn't worry about giving Imogen up. What I have is within and will be able to grow stronger now. How I admire the strength of my sweet Imogen to come and give so much of herself to allow me to be so much more. I could never ask for more. Certainly we never dream that we'll bury our child, but I would not change this time if I could not have had her at all. Imogen Grace taught me more of life in 3 short days than I've experienced in my 26 years. The unconditional love, the dreams, ultimately that life is death. To live is to die, not something to fear. Death must be known to truly live. Having seen death, felt death, touched the wings of death, life becomes more, and I wanted to step into it bigger than before. How did I think I knew life without ever knowing death? I now know its reality, and this reality, once grasped and befriended, makes life so much more to live. Right now, this is all we have. Right here is where we choose to be. Life, breath, the soul within all holds a purpose. Mine now, to live a life filled with our truth. Mine and Imogen Grace's. To truly live an extraordinary life. To find her in all the places I know she would have loved to play. and to find myself living fully until I meet her again. Meditation ends. You can now turn to page 314.